So my question to you lot is, once you make it, like, whose job is it? Your job to then bring in everyone else? Because to me, correct me if I'm wrong, them tweets that Wiley posted kind of seemed like that situation. He's mad at him for not bringing everyone in like Skepta did.
Because he's a house of party, innit? It's your job, yeah, to look after your family and make sure your friends are right. As far as I know, Tinie Tempah look after his family and his close friends in his circle. They're all right, innit? So he's done his job. Ain't nobody to be looking after Bob who's over there or Bill who's over that side because we're in a scene together, because the scene never respected Tinie Tempah. And I was in it and I knew it. Yeah. I used to be there and people, they would say certain things about my man and I would just agree because he was the guy that made Wifey with him. You get what I'm saying? Man used to say all sorts of madness about him. I'll just be real with that. Man used to say, oh, he plucks his eyebrows and all that. And man used to be like, oh. But you see what it is? You can't hold, especially me, bruv, coming from a minority, bruv, you can't hold a black boy that does something, you know, so monumental, because if it weren't for Tinie Tempah, man wouldn't really see the light for this commercial hip-hop thing, you know?
He's fly kick down doors and people don't understand that, and he's not given enough credit for that because of the route he's taken. It's just like, people are so quick to label you as a sellout, you know what I mean? First, exactly. When there's so many people that have tried to sell out, and if they have been
failed, and they try to come back to do what they've been doing already.
To say I think Tinie's a sellout, and I don't respect what he does. I don't have a problem with Tinie, but it's not for me. I kind of feel like, you know, respect to him, he's made his money, whatever. What I have an issue with is the people that attack Tinie. They've all tried to do what Tinie did.
Exactly, and if they were successful, they wouldn't be talking like that.
If I heard Akala attack Tinie, or low-key attack Tinie, I'd give it up for them, because they've actively gone the other route to try and, do you know what I mean? When I'm hearing like major artists who've all had pop records, and this ain't a, like, shade on Wiley, because I respect Wiley a lot, and I feel like Wiley generally just says what the fuck he means. And you know what? Wiley will contradict himself a million times, but he won't try and pretend that he doesn't. Like, he's a real person. So I'm not throwing shade on Wiley, but I do think everybody, because it's not just Wiley he was talking about tonight, it's everybody. Everybody would have jumped at the chance to be where Tinie got to. I do think Tinie's comments were snide, depending on one thing. I had the same thing to say after the Brits. I had the same thing to say. I was like, fuck, I hope they've not got YEEZYs for that, because I feel like Kanye exploited to just have a backdrop that made him look good. He did not try and shine any light on the grime scene and that. I think that was bullshit. People fabricated that. So I kind of thought the same thing. If Tinie was saying it after the Coco show, it's a different story. That to me suggests that Tinie's a little bit bitter that the biggest artist in America came here and paid Tinie no attention.
After the Brits.
He said it after the Brits.
In that case, I can't really fault Tinie.
It wasn't
for
after
saying
Coco.
I feel like Tinie gets made to be a scapegoat of the scene a little bit. I'm not a Tinie Tempah fan, and I personally believe he could have done more in his position, but then at the same time, like, why should he do more? Like why do we suddenly believe that when someone gets to a level of success that they have to do more? They don't. Like I remember 50 saying like I'm a gangster. Like, when I got here, like, I'm not here to teach kids or be a role model. And, you know, everyone gave him a hard time, was like, you know, you should do something positive. And it's like, why do we feel as though these people have a responsibility just because they're entertainers at the end of the day? So I'm not mad at Tinie for not giving a fuck about putting on a scene, or, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't really think it was that scene that put on Tinie.
Tinie the scapegoat though for all of the hate. Like,
that's what it seems like.
It seems like let him be that, fam. Let him sit there with his millions, brother, in his silk bathrobe, fam. Just say, look, I done it, innit. What people tried to do, I succeeded. And man say sellout, pass out that tune.
That's what he is.
Not really that much of a sellout.
Listen,
but the thing is,
Pass Out is probably the only UK rap record, because it's not a grime record, it's a rap record. It's one of the only UK rap records that I can play in a club. It's one of the only ones that's not too commercial that I can't touch it, but it's not too underground and hard that it doesn't work in a club. That, Gigs, Skepta and Conan, Don't Waste My Time, and probably Wretch Tractor. Actually, do you know what? In the last couple of months, there's a few, the Young and Record Works or whatever, and Fecky Records work. But when Pass Out came, no one else. Wiley never had a record like that. Chip never had a record like that. Wretch came a Tractor a little bit afterwards. No one had that record that was credible enough that it worked in the real clubs.
And how rich did it make the
dollar? At the end of the day, I feel like
switch your life around.
The point I take issue with is that when someone does make it from that community, it's so easy to be like, you're a sellout, you're this, you're that. Everyone knows, if the rave says no shoes, you ain't getting in unless you wear shoes. If man wants to wear shoes and get into the rave, why are you going to come down on them? You know what it takes to get into the rave. If you want to do it, you can do the same thing. So you can't come down on the next guy if he's willing to make those changes, those compromises for himself.
Tinie was probably coming with a not as urban, if you want to call it urban or man name kind of music than Pasta. He was coming proper commercial.
At the end of the day, obviously we don't know the vision that him and Dumi have set out to achieve, innit?
But Wiley, did you see Wiley's tweet when he said you've based your whole label, Disturbing London, have based your career on the Kanye West blueprint. So you're pissed for the fact that
it's not even
when he comes out here on stage, you're not behind him.
Like,
so what?
I don't think Tinie cares. I think Tinie knows what it means.
Yeah.
He sold 1 million records in America.
He won't be the first one.
He's on Breakfast Club. He's done way more than everybody else, so I don't see what he has to be worried about, bro. Man weren't his friends in the first place.
At the end of the day, it's no diss to Wiley, and Wiley's entitled to his own opinion, but I feel like it's very easy to say that Tinie wasn't going to get 25 man in backstage because the promoter of O2 can't even get 25 man in backstage, so it just shows you if you can't do it, you can't do it. Like, comments like that are born out of frustration, and I feel they oversimplify a complicated process, which is making yourself relatable to a mass audience. Does Tinie have an obligation to help everyone? No one has an obligation to help anyone. Is it nice if he does? Of course it's nice, and I feel because Wiley's been a godfather in more ways than one. He's actually looked after people and nurtured them and nurtured their careers and helped give them a platform. I feel that Wiley is frustrated because his burden could be halved if someone else was doing a similar role in a position of power. There's a lot of people that can't do it, that can't bust that 6 months.
But do you think if Tinie got asked to come with Kanye, he would have brought through anyone?
If he didn't, so what?
This is it.
It wasn't like Skepta did it off his own back. Skepta was asked to
bring people with
multiple people. I've seen the text. It said, "I'm here with 6 goons," and he said, "You need more. Bring 30." Like, you know what I mean? He was asked to come through with a large amount of people.
And it's the thing what I said. It's like if he doesn't do it, then
what I respect about
that man said, "I'm going to the studio of Kanye."
Skepta actually got artists involved. It wasn't like he just bought 30 of his boys. He actually went and got.
But there were a few people there who weren't.
Oh yeah, of course.
Listen, at the end of the day, if I leave now and I go shop and I get myself a ginger beer, and I don't get you nothing, are you gonna hold it against me?
No.
I don't have obligation to buy you a drink.
There's other people that could have been there. I like that Skepta brought people. Guys, see Skepta, he's smart and he done the right thing, innit? Because at the end of the day, if he'd have just brought his mates,
I'm gonna go
guys that were artists would be like, well, why do you bring me, man? You know, I'm trying to be on as well. Like, I wanted to be there and meet Kanye.
I'm gonna put.
Was the tweets actually shade?
Yeah, of course it is.
What, from Tinie?
No,
or
from Wiley.
Oh yeah, obviously from Wiley, but
no, from Tinie.
It could be.
Would you, if that was you, would you take
more
it a bit?
more so than the chip ones? I think from my perspective, when I looked at it from every angle. I even twisted my head like the meme guy, like, and I said, nah, brother, you're reaching. And for you to get to that stage where you're calling man a coon, I thought to myself, that's unfair.
See, the whole weirdness about this situation is that on one hand you've got somebody like Wiley, a father of a musical movement who's helped forge the careers of so many artists, compared to Tinie Tempah, who hasn't necessarily needed to do that, although he has, and he's brought through people on mixtapes, like what Kai is saying. When you've got that person and then that person and this person saying to that person, yo, you ain't done nothing, you wouldn't bring 25 man backstage. Why does he need to? If that's not in his ethos, if that's not in his mentality, if that's not what he's wanted to do, why does he have to? Just because you would do that, which I have the utmost respect for, don't be mad at somebody who doesn't need to do that. It's dumb.
You know, you might want to take a shot now. You get what I'm saying? Because shots is getting thrown around all the time.
Okay.
The thing is, like,
I'm saying about, let me get to that point where I was saying about the shade that Tinie might have did. Yeah, it might be a little bit of shade, but at the same time, like you were saying, it's kind of a real situation. You lot are all artists, you're all behind Kanye. Man, get some Yeezys, innit? I asked for some. If I was one of them, I said, wow, man getting Yeezys.
But it's relevant though. I mean,
but it's cheeky. It's cheeky.
I don't think it's cheeky because
might be a little bit.
I don't think it's cheeky because it's obviously it's how you perceive yourself. If you feel that you're bigger than that, then obviously you're gonna see it as cheeky. Like I don't need Yeezys, but it's relevant in the sense that he does have these new trainers coming out. So if you said, you're gonna get yourself free Yeezys.
I'm saying,
if he was doing something for Steve Jobs, rest his soul, and he said, you're gonna get some free iPhones, you wouldn't say it's cheeky, innit?
But it's because Tiny says it on his Twitter, and it's the only thing he said.
It's relevant. It's in line with
But he didn't say my brothers.
But what did they
He didn't make
really
it sound
do though?
nice.
What, come behind stage and like, why would people expect something like that for when they got asked, they got invited to come down and come behind someone?
What if they said no? Yeah. Because they could either said no, are we performing? No, we're not coming. Then what? Oh yeah, we're gonna give you like YEEZYs, yeah. Alright, cool.
If you make it, the nice thing for you to do in regards to other MCs that you may be around is try to aid their career into heading the same way that you're going. But there is no, especially if you're part of a scene, there's no chokehold on you to go and help people. I mean, Dizzy Rascal was the first to go and go very far. And as far as I'm concerned, in that moment of him doing that, there wasn't much help to the rest of the grime scene, and no one's really held that against him. So I don't think anyone should hold that against Tinie Tempah, whereas he wasn't with loads of people. He was really by himself. You get what I'm saying? I know that he had the Lords with him and you know Aftershock and all that, but if they're not heading in that same direction, like the Lords were kind of like grime. If they're not heading in that same direction, then you gotta be off on your own thing, and that's basically what he was. He was making songs like, was it like Tears and Wifey Rhythm, and no one really cared. And as soon as people start caring, said, oh, what about us over in here in grime? None of you lot cared. So if he's looking after his mum and he's looking after his family, he's doing the things that he's supposed to do. He doesn't have to start breading a scene that didn't bread him.
You don't know. I don't know. Maybe they did get YEEZYs. I don't know.
That's the thing. What imagine, had Skepta gone, fuck that, come down for what, bruv? What are you doing for us? Imagine that. Because Skepta needed them more than they did. I mean, Kanye needed them more than...
that's what he wanted.
Because they didn't get nothing from that. Kanye got something from that. Kanye got an amazing looking backdrop.
They were 30
No,
paid.
they
That should have been 30 paid.
They
people.
both worked
yeah.
on a show at Coco 2-3 days later. That's what they both got from
No,
that.
that's what I'm saying. In the end, they did.
Because if
They did.
Skepta said no
But-
to that, then that show at Coco wouldn't have happened.
True.
Do you think so?
Of course not. If Skepta said no to Kanye and said, don't come behind, I'm not coming behind you on stage,
Okay, no,
that show
but-
at Coco wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
That's
but
all.
then I don't respect Kanye if he would have done that, because that means that it's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. When realistically,
That's how the world works, though.
That's
no, but I'm
normal.
not saying that in the world. But if you respect an artist, you shouldn't have to be like that.
Well, does he though?
Well, this is what we're trying to get at, isn't it? Nah, it's like
Would you say Kanye respects Chief Keef as an artist? Be real. He has
respects
to make
the
it look
hype.
like because he's from Chicago.
He respects the hype.
the musician in me is hoping that he does,
Why?
because I don't like who wants to. Who
Is
wants
Chief
to actually,
Keef good?
It's not that. Who wants to actually believe that the world that we live in, that we all work in as artists, that everyone is only doing something based on the business deals and opportunities that could open from it? Then that means that no one rates each other then. And part of me doesn't want to kind of view the whole dynamic of everyone's
you gotta get with that reality, B.
that guy's on that stage. I know, but I said that's the part of me, that's the musician in me that doesn't want to believe that.
It's so easy nowadays for anything to be taken as shade. So that tweet where he said, oh, I hope the man them got free YEEZYs, like, he may not have even meant it in a bad way, but because there's that little element of snidiness in there, everyone's immediately jumped on that. And I completely can kind of see where Wiley's coming from. He took it kind of really deeply, but I think that's what he kind of more has to be careful of, especially it seems to me he's become like the scapegoat. Anyone will just throw shots at Tinie because the formula's kind of worked for him, and for everyone else it's a bit shaky, and he's obviously over there doing whatever he's doing, and everyone else is still kind of grinding and hustling, and they possibly may resent him for that. So I think just to keep out of the negative limelight, he should kind of think about things before he does. So once you make it though, like you already said, Kai said that you have it's not your job to help other people. So Tinie's justified then in his sense to just.
They're both opposite though. Look at it though. Like
He put a
Wiley,
mixtape
look
out
how many
after
people
his
Wiley's
album.
helped.
Huh?
Yeah, we're comparing two different people with two different mindsets.
Yeah.
Wiley has brought in so many people.
Yes,
The founder of the scene.
Yeah, he has brought in so many people. Tinie hasn't felt the obligation to bring in anyone.
But he
It's
has
not
though.
even-
He has. When he dropped his album, platinum selling album, he made a mixtape. Could have just been him. He could have just put Americans on it.
Of
Who was
course,
on it?
yeah,
Krypton and Conan.
Conan.
Yeah.
Rich,
Chip was on
yeah.
there.
G-Fresh,
Rex was on
yeah.
there.
Fecky.
G-Fresh was on there. Fecky was
Yeah,
on there.
all of them.
Yeah.
Tinchy
So
Strider was on
He
there.
does bring in people.
J. Cole was on there.
He doesn't bring.
it's
I
American,
think
Look
what
at
Wiley's alluding to though is
J.
that
Cole.
is he bringing the grime acts through? But then again, as we all know, whether it's an urban myth or otherwise, Tinie wasn't apparently well received in the days of grime, so people could turn around and be like, why would he help people that
Why is he to help grime? He can help any black boy that he feels is good, innit?
Any urban acts.
He helped Skepta and Conan.
Yeah.
He done tunes with them. You know what I'm saying? He's just done a song the other day with Jay Spade
and Pro Green.
Yeah. But in answer to your question, is it shade? I feel like Wiley was reaching there. I feel like it's a bit of a... Obviously, we know that Wiley's had issues with Tinie before, and he has an issue with what Tinie represents, so I don't feel like...
Successful black man.
Man, let them man do what they want, man. People want to bring in people, let them. If they don't want to bring in people, let them.
You keep saying he ain't bring nobody in.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. UK rappers need to get their products out ASAP. Because UK rap is about to experience a horrible backlash. Right now, everybody's pro grime, grime's back. Yeah. So everyone's gonna start, I don't want to hear no shit that sounds like American rap. No, fuck that, fuck them. It's gonna be, and you know what? I think it's good because I think what will happen, because most of the UK rappers are not UK rappers anyway. They're grime artists who try to ting with rap.
Is it trap or is it grime?
Who knows? But I think what might actually happen now is it might all
grime.
Flatline.
Yeah? It's grime.
Sonically.
That's a whole separate debate.
But it might all just flatline and actually leave room for actual hip hop artists from this country to come up and just create like a little lane for actual rap music, which would be good.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Slither in it.